Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing a woven bun, and to begin you just want to make a part on the side. This part is going to be showing with the finished style, so you want to place it where you want it on her head, and then just come across from that on the back about 1/2 of an inch over. So after you have that part sectioned off, now you just want to come off of that part about 1 inch in from the top of her head and make a part down to her ear. And then with all of the hair that is remaining, you're just going to pull that all into a ponytail. Alright, so this is what it should look like at this point. I have all of her hair in the ponytail except for this section on the top and this small section on the front. And so now I am going to take this elastic out from the section on the front. I have sprayed this hair down with a little bit of water just to keep the flyaways down. And then if you have seen our never-ending braid video, this is basically going to be the same concept. I'm just going to take a section from the top and split this into two. And then I'm grabbing another section from this ponytail as the third section for the braid. And then I am basically just going to braid these together. So I'm bringing this section from the ponytail over the middle strand, and then I'm bringing the section that is on the left over the middle strand, and I'm just going to continue braiding. And every time I bring in this strand from the left side, I'm going to add a small section of hair from the ponytail to come in with it. And then every time I bring in this strand from the right side, or excuse me, from the left side, I'm going to bring in a strand of hair from the front to bring in with it. And just continue that all the way down until you run out of hair here in the front. Alright, so now that I've brought in all of the hair from the front, I'm just going to tie this braid off with a temporary elastic so that it doesn't come undone. And now I am going to remove this elastic from the hair on the top, and we're just going to weave this hair through the strands on this braid. So to do that, I am going to spray this with some water first. So to begin this weaving, I'm just going to section off a small strand in the front of this section of hair. And I'm going to be using our design weaver to do this. It's made by Scunci, and I'm pretty sure you can find it in most stores where Scunci products are sold. It's called a design weaver. And what I'm going to do is just twist this hair up a little bit so that I can thread it through the top of that needle. And then I'm just going to take the bottom of this and weave it through these strands. So I'm going under and then over, under and over, all the way down. When I get to the bottom, I'm just going to pull it through and the hair will follow. If you don't have a design weaver, you could actually try and do this just with your fingers. It's a little bit harder, but it is possible. What I would recommend is twisting this piece up before you start, and then you can just kind of thread it through these strands. But it is much easier if you just use the tool. This one I'm going to thread through the opposite way I did the first one. So I'm just going to go over and under every other one, but I'm starting the opposite way. So you just want to do that same pattern, just going back until you've used all of this hair. Now that I have all of that weaving done, I've removed the elastic that was holding this braid, and I'm just going to find my 3 strands again and start braiding. And as I'm coming across, I'm just going to bring in these strands from the weaving and add them into the braid. And then after I've added in all of those strands, I'm going to continue the same pattern, only I'm going to grab hair from the ponytail again to add in. As you're braiding, you just want to try and make the braid come across instead of going straight down. So it just kind of helps to pull on the braid a little bit to send it in the direction you want it to go. And I am going to be wrapping this into a bun when I'm finished, so it doesn't really need to be perfect looking. If you have pieces popping out from the sides of the braid, just don't really worry about it, because you can hide it into the bun when you're finished. So I'm just going to continue braiding to the end. I've brought in all of the hair from the ponytail. And then I'm going to tie this off with a clear elastic. Alright, all of the braiding is finished with this hairstyle, and now I'm just going to wrap this into a bun. So I'm bringing it up and around this clear elastic that I placed on the ponytail. And then I'm going to tuck these ends underneath as I'm coming around. So after you get the bun in the formation that you would like, you can just bobby pin it all in place. And the way I like to place our bobby pins is to just grab a small amount of hair from the bun itself and then catch some hair that is underneath as you're coming down and push it in. So basically I'm bringing the bobby pin kind of inwards, grabbing some hair, and then flipping it around and pushing it into the bun. And if you are needing a bun to stay in place really securely, I would suggest crossing your bobby pins. So I already have a bobby pin here. I would bring one in diagonally from the other angle and cross it over the bobby pin that's already there. Alright, so just use as many bobby pins as you think you're going to need to keep that in place, and then that hairstyle is complete.